Bugatti's W16 engine will go down in history as one of the all-time greats. Two narrow-angle V8s combined to form an absolute beast of an engine that went on to power Molsheim's finest to 250 miles an hour and beyond. But the journey to that engine wasn't as smooth as you might think, and actually the Veyron very nearly used a completely different engine layout, an even crazier layout that we haven't seen since. Hop back to the late 1990s and Volkswagen were buying Bugatti, and to save the brand, they wanted to make a supercar. To start with, they took a Lamborghini Diablo VT and started to mess around with it. To achieve the kind of top speeds that they were aiming for, they needed to go big with the engine, and that they did. One of the first concepts, weirdly called the Chiron, was a modified Lamborghini but with a colossus of an engine in the back. This is the original engine that was supposed to go in the Bugatti Veyron. It's a W18, which is actually a completely different layout to the W16 that ended up in the car. Instead of combining two VR8 engines like the Veyron's actual engine, Bugatti decided to combine three straight sixes. So imagine it as a V12 with another straight six attached to the side. The banks of the engine were set 60 degrees apart, making for an absolute lump of a thing that must have weighed a ton. Now somehow it manages to make the W16 look really tightly packaged. Here's a better look at it, and this is the configuration that it was mounted into the car, essentially making for an upside down tent configuration. Now the engine was featured in 4 Bugatti concept cars. There was the EB118, the EB218, the EB18/3 Chiron, and the EB18/4. Which was otherwise known as the Veyron concept. Now you can see where those cars got their names from, citing the 18 cylinders under the bonnet. Bugatti obviously loved this engine because all of the press pictures have it up on this Greek column or plinth. I guess that's how you celebrate an awesome piece of engineering. Although it was an incredible engine to attempt to make, there's a very good reason that it didn't make it into the proper production car, and that reason can be found when you look at the stat sheet. The 6.3 litre engine created 547 brake horsepower and 479 pounds-feet of torque. Now those numbers aren't small, but they're not the figures that are going to get a car to the top speeds that Bugatti were hoping for, especially when it's their first car since the EB110. When you look at it, Bugatti never bothered to turbocharge the engine like they did with the eventual Veyron motor. But you can't really blame them, considering the mission it would have been to package that engine properly. And also, it was packaging that hindered those figures from being higher. Having the 3 banks of cylinders means at some point you're going to have an intake next to a boiling hot exhaust manifold. Not great for efficient combustion and creating good power. So sadly, the monster W18 was out to be replaced by the W16 that we know and love today. But saying that, if it wasn't for that switch, the Veyron probably wouldn't have gone on to that production car record. And then the engine wouldn't have been developed into the Chiron engine that has now gone on to 304 miles per hour.
What a fantastic car.
But if you like the look of this thing, don't worry. The engine is actually sitting in the Volkswagen Museum in Wolfsburg, so I know next time I go to Germany, I'm definitely going to pop in and give it a stroke or something. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Drive Tribe.